Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through stacks of research and insights so you don't. Today, we're diving into something, well, maybe a bit it's this very specific kind of exhaustion. And it's really different from just being tired or burnt out. This is that feeling you get right before things are about to that restless, where your usual routine feels something big, like those tremors. And what we found in our sources is, look, this isn't just you imagine. What you're likely sensing is what they call the unmistakable frequency. Think of it less feeling, more like your internal. So our mission today is to really unpack why you might, and what it's telling you about the power you have. I've got some
It really is fascinating. And it taps into something deeply human, doesn't it? This resistance to that very state.
It's surprisingly common. Most people, they sort of live their whole lives in this comfortable middle zone, between wanting something different
and actually stepping out to get it.
Exactly. They wish for the breakthrough. But then, when life actually starts to shift and rearrange, they panic because it feels like chaos.
Yeah, destabilizing.
Right. But if this whole conversation is clicking for you, well, that suggests you're different. It suggests you've actually been building something inside yourself, maybe without even realizing.
Okay, so let's really get into this pre-breakthrough state. What does it look like? The material we looked at highlights something interesting. Every time you've chosen growth over comfort, or, stayed in that really tough conversation when everything screamed run, or even just looked in the mirror and thought, okay, I'm ready to actually meet that person.
Right.
All of that, the sources say, was preparation. It was building capacity for this moment. And that leads to a key insight. Well, they don't exactly send out engraved invitations, do they? There's no fanfare, no countdown timer.
No dramatic music swell.
Not usually, no. They tend to sneak up on you. Often disguised as these very ordinary moments, but moments that feel anything but ordinary, charged somehow.
Okay.
And this brings up the idea of the liminal zone, the in-between space.
Where you're not quite who you were, but not yet who you're.
Precisely. Your old identity feels too small, like clothes you've outgrown.
Yeah.
But the new one hasn't fully formed yet. It's uncomfortable as hell, frankly.
Yeah, because you're neither here nor there. Stuck in the doorway.
Exactly. And that liminality, that threshold state, it's crucial. It's where the real deep shifts happen. Think about rites of passage in different cultures. They often involve exactly this kind of state.
Okay, now this next part really stood out to me. The sources describe this uncomfortable transition as the most vulnerable and most powerful place a human...
Vulnerable and powerful, both at once.
Yeah. Think about it, maybe in your own life. Have relationships felt strained? Or conversations that used to feel good now just leave you kind of empty?
Or old goals just don't light you up anymore.
Right. They feel meaningless. And the sources say, look, this isn't necessarily a crisis fix. They call it clearance.
Clearance, I like that.
Yeah, like life is literally making space, sweeping out the old to make room for what's trying to emerge.
So if we pull back and look at the bigger picture here, it means your breakthrough probably isn't going to look like that Hollywood moment.
Right. No sudden epiphany under a waterfall.
Probably not. It's messier, more like a slow motion explosion inside. Something that subtly, or maybe not so subtly, rearranges everything you thought you knew about yourself, about your world.
Which makes you ask, okay, what is expanding then? If it's not just about achieving more stuff?
That's a great question. And the material suggests it's not primarily about your capacity for, say, external goals or achievements. It's more about expanding your capacity for truth, for authenticity, for really holding the fullness of who you actually are without needing to apologize for it or shrink it.
Okay, holding your own fullness.
Right. And that kind of expansion, well, it almost always feels like breaking before it feels like breakthrough. You have to stretch the container.
So translating this down to everyday life, what does it look like on a Tuesday?
Good question.
The sources point to these tangible shifts. Things maybe you've already noticed yourself doing, like having conversations differently.
Yeah, maybe being more direct or less willing to smooth things over.
Exactly. Or setting boundaries that feel kind of foreign, maybe even scary, but also deeply necessary.
Necessary.
Or just walking away from situations or dynamics that trap you, keep you stuck.
Yeah, that feeling of, I just can't do this anymore.
Right. And it's not like you arrive at some destination called breakthrough. It's more like
a way of being.
A way of being you grow into.
Yeah.
And the sources emphasize this growth often happens, in the dark.
In the dark?
Yeah. In those messy, uncertain, uncomfortable moments where you can't see the whole path.
That makes sense. And it connects to another crucial point from the material. Nobody really tells you about this verge of breakthrough feeling. It's not something people talk about much. In fact, often the people around you.
They notice the changes before you do.
Absolutely. They see you shifting. And reactions can be mixed, right? Some people in your life will celebrate it. They'll be excited for your evolution.
But others, not so much.
Others might resist it because, consciously or not, your growth forces them to look at their own stuff, their own stagnation.
Ooh, okay. So your breakthrough can actually feel threatening to someone else's comfort zone.
Precisely. Threatens their comfort with things staying the same, which raises the big question.
How do you handle that when your growth makes others uncomfortable?
Well, the sources suggest something quite profound happens. Your primary allegiance starts to shift. It moves away from keeping everyone else happy.
And toward what?
Towards honoring your own becoming, your own emergence.
That sounds potentially selfish, or at least that's how it might feel initially.
It definitely can feel selfish at first. There might be guilt, worry about being uncaring.
Yeah.
But according to the sources, what's actually happening is you're learning to relate to people, to love people from a place of wholeness.
Wholeness, not neediness.
Exactly. Instead of relating from need or obligation or codependency, you start discovering that you can care really deeply about people without having to carry the weight of their emotional reactions to your choices.
Okay, that's a big one. Separating care from carrying their stuff.
It is huge. Your breakthrough is basically teaching you the difference between genuine connection and unhealthy attachment or enmeshment.
Wow, okay.
And think about the energy that frees up. All that energy you used to spend managing other people's feelings, navigating their expectations.
Yeah, worrying if you said the right thing, did the right thing.
All that energy is suddenly available. For what? For actually living your life.
That mental real estate that was occupied by worry?
Right. It's now free. Free for creativity, for vision, for seeing new possibilities.
So it's like reclaiming resources.
Exactly. And here's something fascinating the sources point out. When you stop scattering your energy and start really channeling it toward what genuinely matters,
things start to happen.
The universe seems to respond. Opportunities pop up, insights land, connections form that seemed impossible.
And it's not because you suddenly became worthy.
No. Not at all. It's because you've finally become available to receive. You've cleared the space internally.
It's available. Okay, that resonates. Now, here's another really powerful idea. Your breakthrough. It isn't actually about becoming someone totally new, like a personality.
What is it?
It's more about remembering who you were before the world told you smaller.
Okay. Reclaiming something lost.
Yeah. Before you learn to maybe hide your intensity or dim your light or trim down your dreams so they'd fit into smaller boxes.
Reclaiming those parts of yourself you might have buried.
Exactly. It's a homecoming in a way.
And this next phase, this integration, it's going to require, well, pretty much every ounce of strength you've been building, every lesson learned, every bit of courage practiced.
Because it's not just about changing jobs or moving house, is it?
No, it's much deeper. Breakthrough doesn't just change your circumstance. It fundamentally changes your relationship with reality itself.
How so? What does that look like?
You start seeing patterns, not in a woo-woo mystical sense necessarily, but
more like synchronicity, things lining up.
Exactly. You notice the way certain people show up right when you need a specific lesson, or how a book practically leaps off the shelf with the answer you were looking for.
Or conversations that just unlock doors you didn't even realize were there.
Right. You start operating at what the sources call the frequency of breakthrough. Your awareness expands. You start catching these signals, these connections that were probably always there.
But you just couldn't perceive them before.
Right. They were invisible to your previous level of your previous way of filtering reality.
And the really strange part of all this, according to the sources, it starts to feel normal.
Normal. Seeing patterns and unlocking doors feels normal.
Apparently, yes. Not like you're having some constant mystical trip. It's more like clarity.
Okay.
Decisions that used to tie you in knots for weeks, they become obvious, almost simple. Situations that would have drained all your energy, they resolve themselves with surprising ease.
So it's like an internal rewiring.
That's exactly the term used. Like your nervous system is being rewired. Not literally, of course, but functionally.
Shifting how you process things.
Yeah.
Your default state.
Yeah, where maybe you used to react with anxiety or defensiveness.
You now respond with curiosity.
Openness.
Exactly, curiosity.
Yeah.
And where you used to contract with fear, now you feel yourself expanding with possibility.
But what about fear? Does it just vanish? That seems unlikely.
No, definitely not. The sources are clear. Fear is still there.
Okay, good, because fear is pretty persistent.
Right. But the difference is it's no longer in the driver's seat. It's moved to the past or maybe the back seat.
Yeah, maybe the back. It becomes information instead of instruction.
Information, not instruction. Tell me more about that.
So when fear pops up, you don't automatically obey it. You don't run from it or try to fight it necessarily. You listen. What's the information here? What's it trying to point out? A real danger. An old pattern.
And then you make your choice from a deeper place.
Exactly, from that more aligned, authentic place. And that, the sources say, is mastery.
And mastery often looks effortless from the outside, doesn't it?
Totally. People will look at you and ask, what are you doing? What's your secret? What program are you on?
Right. They want the formula.
But breakthrough. You can't really package it into a neat little system or reduce it to 5 easy steps.
No, it's not a technique.
It's something you become through the accumulated weight of just thousands of small
choices to show up authentically, even when it's hard.
Yeah, especially when it's hard. So, okay, The real-world impact of all this. The sources use this striking phrase. They say you become dangerous.
Dangerous. How so? Dangerous to whom?
Dangerous in the best possible way, they clarify. Dangerous to systems that rely on your compliance or your insecurity.
Ah, okay. Dangerous to the status quo that needs you to stay small.
Right. Dangerous to relationships that were built on maybe dysfunction or old patterns. Dangerous to industries that profit from you feeling not enough.
Got it. So it's not about being aggressive.
No, not at all. It's the quiet, the danger of someone who simply knows their own worth.
And doesn't need external validation or need to constantly defend it.
Exactly. They just are.
Which connects to the bigger picture. Your job, then, isn't to try and make your growth easy for other people to swallow. Especially not for people who are kind of invested in your limitation.
Right. Your job isn't to manage their discomfort.
Your job is to honor what's trying to emerge through you, whatever that is.
And this emergence, it's bigger than just personal gain.
Much bigger, according to the material. It's not really about fame or getting recognition. It's about the ripple effects. The ripple effects your authenticity creates just by being yourself fully.
How does that work?
You give other people permission to be themselves, your comfort with your own truth.
Might make someone else brave enough their own lives.
Exactly. Your peace with uncertainty might help someone else loosen their own grip on control. It's contagious in a good way.
Okay, that explains why this process feels so solitary.
Because you're not just changing you.
You're disrupting the whole ecosystem.
Yes, the ecosystem of relationships, expectations, unspoken agreements, all built around the person you used to be.
And the timing of all this? Not random, is it?
The sources strongly suggest it's not random at all. It's arriving now.
Because you're finally ready.
Because you've finally developed the internal resources, the strength, the resilience, the wisdom to actually handle what comes with it.
Handle the challenge.
Yes, and the opportunities, the responsibilities, and the sheer freedom of it. You needed to grow into it.
Okay, that makes sense. You wouldn't get the keys to the kingdom you know how to...
Something like that. And it's compelling. This breakthrough is about to show you just how much power you've been unintentionally giving away.
Giving away? To what?
To other people's opinion. To circumstances you felt were fixed. To fears that were mostly just stories in your head.
Right? Leaking energy.
Exactly. And as you start to reclaim that energy, pull it back, you're going to discover these reserves of strength you totally forgot you had.
Wow.
Now, this reclaiming, this elimination process, it's not always going to feel great. There might be grief involved.
Grief for the old self or lost time.
Both, maybe. Grieving the patterns that kept you small for so long. But the promise on the other side of is a version of you that doesn't just survive challenges anymore.
What then?
You transform them. You learn to see them and use them as opportunities for even deeper growth.
Okay, let's really focus on this final powerful message from the source because it feels crucial. Your breakthrough isn't coming. It's here.
It's already happening.
Yes, right now. That exhaustion we talked about, the restlessness, that sense that everything's about to shift.
That is the breakthrough, not just the prelude.
That is it, happening in real time. The discomfort of outgrowing your old life, the uncertainty.
That weird mix of excitement and, frankly, terror.
All of it. That is your breakthrough unfolding. You don't need to wait for some external sign or permission.
Or wait until you've figured out all the steps.
Exactly. You don't need the full map.
Which leads to this critical point. The person you're becoming, they've been knocking.
Knocking at the door of your consciousness.
Yeah. And they're not going to wait politely forever.
The time is now.
The moment is now. Not when things feel perfect, not when you feel 100% ready. Because whoever feels 100% ready for major change.
Right. That perfect moment never really arrived.
Exactly. People who truly break through, they don't wait for perfect timing. They create it.
Oh.
By finally deciding to trust what they've actually known.
Yeah.
Deep down all along.
Trusting that inner knowing.
Yes. So the real question isn't, are you ready?
What is it then?
The real question is, what are you going to do about it now that you know?
Wow. Okay, so we've really gone deep today into this journey of breakthrough, understanding it not as some single dramatic event, but as this continuous unfolding.
A remembering.
Yeah, a remembering of who you truly are underneath all the layer. And it's happening right here, right now, in the middle of the mess and the uncertainty.
Which brings us to a final question for you, the listener. If any of this resonated today, if you felt that flicker of recognition, what's one small, authentic choice you could make, maybe even today?
A choice that acknowledges the breakthrough already happening within you.
Exactly, without needing to explain it or justify it to anyone else. Just one small step aligned with that emerging self.
That's a powerful thought to end on. Remember, the biggest transformations often start quiet in the mess, long before anyone else growing. Dive